The first card you have your past is the Knight of Swords. Okay, this feels really tiring. It feels really exhausting, actually, more than a bit exhausting. This is very, very exhausting. This card's about rushing in, not putting any thought into things, just rushing straight in. It can be really destructive as well, this card, just kind of rushing in, like that saying, bull in the china shop, rushing in, messing up everything. It's angry as well. It's quite aggressive, very aggressive, actually. Yeah, it feels like you might have been trying to keep up with someone. I'm seeing help here, a lot of help. So I think you tried to help someone. Someone needed this help. Yeah, you're trying to help them. Yeah, there's love here as well. You were trying to love them. That's what I'm seeing. You tried to love them. There's a lot of destruction here. It feels like self-destruction, actually. Yeah, there's definitely love here. There's a tiny heart just behind this horse's eye. Very, very small. So this is love. Now, you love this person. Again, you really tried. You really, really tried. And I think in the end, you were just exhausted. You just couldn't do this anymore. I'm getting this kind of, oh, I have to focus on me now. The focus was on them, I think, pretty much all the time when you were with them. And it was just too much for you. And I'm getting a lot of contrasting feelings here because I don't know why I'm getting this, but I think they were harming themselves in a way, not physically. They weren't physically harming themselves. I hope not, but that's not what I'm seeing anyway. It is self-destruction. And I'm also getting this feeling of underappreciation. So two different feelings here. If this is you, I don't think they realized how much energy you gave them. You gave them so much of yourself. And I'm seeing a lot of backwards and forwards here as well. I'm not seeing backwards and forwards in the relationship. I'm not seeing breaking up and coming back together. I'm not seeing that. It's more like, they'd have things back on track for a while. Things would be okay for a while. And then after a while, things would go back to this default again, where you were doing all the help and they were kind of self-destructing. Very, very difficult, very dramatic, I know, but this is what I'm seeing. And that's why it's so exhausting, probably. So, yeah, I think you just had to let this person go in the end. That's what I'm seeing. It's just so exhausting. Exhaustion everywhere. It feels a lot more peaceful for you now. I can say that. So that's what I'm seeing now. Okay, the next card you have your pass, the Eight of Cups. So yeah, you had to let them go. You walked away. It wasn't easy for you. It really wasn't, because I'm getting all these conflicting emotions I was seeing in the Knight of Swords. And, if you look at this card, he's walking away from this wall of cups, this emotion. So even though you walked away, you still had emotion for them. And the water on this card, it's traveling in the opposite direction to where this man's going. So, if you've ever tried to swim against the tide, especially when there's a lot of water and it's flowing really quickly and it's really heavy and, it's very, very hard. You're kind of going 10 times slower. Sometimes you're even swimming in one place, or even going backwards when you're going against the tide. And I think that's what it felt like for you when you had to leave them. You were going against the tide of your emotions. So it was very, very hard. Really hard to walk away, but yeah, exhaustion won in the end. You're just so exhausted. That's what I'm getting now, if that resonates with you. So, and just with this self-destructive behavior, sometimes this can be, this card can be about walking away from addiction. And it can be any kind of addiction, anything that's difficult to stop doing can be anything. And they did find it really hard to stop something. And that's probably what this self-destruction's about. And they kept coming back to their old behaviours. Because sometimes this man, I see him kind of walking around this hill and coming back again, around and around and around. So they kept coming back to their behaviours. I don't think they have a lot of support around them right now. That's what I'm getting. I'm feeling a lot of isolation around them. And yeah, this actually feels a bit distant to me. So it might have been a while ago when you're in the situation. So I don't know why this is here, why this is coming up here, but things always come up for a reason, even if they're strange. They're there for a reason. So yeah, I don't know. I might find out why that is. That they're around your energy for some reason. They're here for some reason. You probably don't want to hear that, but that's what I'm seeing. Okay, so the last card you have, you pass the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah. This is the work card. This card comes up all the time for you. You're an efficient worker, you're a good worker, you're always kind of quite work focused. I'm getting this in the middle feeling. I'm stuck in the middle. It's kind of like stuck in the middle of something. I think you're really excited about working on something to begin with when you started this thing. It looks like a project or something like that, a work project. And it feels like you're kind of slumped in the middle. And there's a lot of monotonous work kind of going around and around and around. That's what I'm seeing. I think in the beginning you had this clear goal. I'm seeing two goals actually. One goal that you had that was early on and you reached that goal already. And there's another goal coming up ahead. And it feels really, really far away. I'm getting this, when am I going to get there? I've reached that, I was really excited, and this other one just feels really, really far away. It might be work, it might be study as well. Okay, so there's some kind of, I don't know if this will make any sense, but it feels like you're spending a lot of time on one area of this project, and it feels like you're going around and around with something, going over and over. Repetitiveness. Look at this man, he's making all these coins, they all look exactly the same, so it's like a repetition. It feels a little bit like someone's asking you to go back over things over and over again. That's kind of what it feels like to me. Might be your boss, I don't know. It feels as if you can't really do much about this. But there is a way around this. There really is a way around this. There's a way to getting to the second goal, and it's a lot faster than what you're actually doing. I'd love to be able to tell you exactly what this is, but I can't. So maybe take some time, because it feels like you're on this treadmill going on and on and on doing all this work. So try and take some time off the treadmill, even if it's a short time, and sit back and look at how you're doing things. And that might give you an indication of how you can do this a lot faster, maybe in a more efficient way or something like that. It just feels like a big slog. A lot of repetition, and what I'm seeing, there's another way. There's another way out of this. Because sometimes you need to step out of a situation to see things in perspective. I think you'll get there in the end, but you can get there quicker if you step back and really have a look at this. So I hate that frustrated feeling, so I'm just trying to get you out of that feeling if that's what you're going through. Okay, so the first card you have your presence, the Page of Swords. Yes. Okay, so I think this is about this person in the Knight of Swords. And you can see they're right next to each other. So it's like a progression. They're coming up for a reason. I don't want to see them, but they're here, so I have to talk about them. Now, there's this sequence, because it's like there's the Knight, and now you've got the Page next to each other. So they haven't changed their personality. They still get into things without thinking. This Page is kind of thrashing his sword around, so he's not thinking what he's doing. But this is kind of like reduction. It's like their world's gotten smaller. They might be retreating into themselves a bit more. And, this is about a knight coming down a notch, coming down, if that makes sense, going from a knight to a page. So I think something might have humbled them, actually. They've been humbled by something. Something's made them feel smaller from knight to page. Again, it feels like they don't have the support they used to have. I think they feel as if they need support right now. That's how they're feeling, because they don't feel very strong. They used to be a lot stronger. I don't want to keep on talking about them, because this is your reading, and I hate that they keep on coming up. But this card can be about, what this can be about, watching from afar. It could be the stalker card, watching on social media. So I actually think they're starting to realise, they're starting to think about you quite a lot now, and they're starting to realise what you were worth to them. what you did for them, all the time you took for them, all the energy you put into them. They're starting to realise that. They feel a bit humbled. I keep on seeing this humbling. They're feeling humbled. So compared to where they were, now they're feeling much smaller. And so that's what's humbling them probably. I don't know, something's humbling them, bringing them from a knight down into a page. So yeah, they're watching out for you. And I think that might be why they're here. It might be a bit of a warning. Also just to let you know what they're going through. I don't know why, but it wants to let you know. These cards want to let you know for some reason. So yeah, they might approach you, because if someone's watching you, the next step is actually approaching you. So that might happen. I can't see that. I can't be sure of that. Sometimes I can be really sure that that's going to happen. I can't see that here. All I can see is that they're thinking about that, and they're thinking about you. They're realizing, starting to realize what it's like to be without your help, and they're humbling themselves. They might try to contact you, they might not. Just watch out for that, because I don't think you want to go back there at all. I really don't think you want to go back to them. You really, really don't. That's what I'm seeing in that card anyway. Okay, so the next card you have for your presence, the Four of Swords. Yeah, this is why, well, this is one of the reasons why you don't want to go back there. You're healing yourself. You're getting yourself back together. You're being restored. You're doing all of this yourself. You've put a lot of work into this. You put a lot of work into healing yourself. You've had to do that yourself, and you don't want to undo that work. So, you know, the thing about this card is, it doesn't matter whether other people know your worth or not, even though they're starting to see that. It doesn't matter. That's the realization of this card. You know, there was definitely a time, I think, when you really wanted them to see that in you. You wanted them to recognize that in you. But I think now that they're coming back to do that in some way, I think they are going to come back and say that or something. They're coming back to recognize you. They are recognizing that. But now that they're doing that, you don't need it anymore. You don't need that recognition anymore, because you're getting that from yourself. You're giving that to yourself. You know what you're worth now. You didn't then, but you do now. You know, because the statue on this card, it's the only thing that's gold. It's the only thing that's gold. And he's asleep. So if he's asleep, he doesn't realize that about himself. He doesn't realize that he's golden. And that's how you felt when you're around this person. You were gold, but you couldn't see it. You were asleep because they weren't giving you that recognition. You needed that from them, but they weren't giving it to you. And now you're not asleep anymore. You've woken up. You've given that to yourself. You know what you're worth. Absolutely beautiful. I won't talk about them again, I promise, but I love seeing that juxtaposition between where you were then and where you are now. That's the beautiful thing about this. And this is really, really interesting, because if you look at things horizontally, if you look at this horizontally, because I'm seeing the Knight of Swords going to the Page of Swords, that's where this other person's humbled themselves and they've reduced themselves down. And then you've got the Eight of Cups when you walked away, feeling really terrible, finding it really difficult. And now you've got the Four of Swords, where you're making this realization that you're golden. And now the next card's the King of Pentacles, and that's coming from the Eight of Pentacles, the hard work, into the King of Pentacles, which is the money card. So they're all going across ways, you know, the first and the second card across, as well as down. So that's really interesting to see. So I just wanted to point that out to you. That was what I was seeing. So, yeah, this King of Pentacles, yeah, I love this. There's definitely money coming in. And yeah, it relates to the Eight of Pentacles, because there's some kind of recognition, there's some kind of bonus or something like that. It's coming in for you. And yeah, it's attached to this project that I'm seeing in the Eight of Pentacles. You know, if you look at this king, he's wearing these big, heavy robes. And they're so heavy, they're really dark. And it looks as if he can hardly move. You know, if he tried to stand up, he'd have to kind of rip these vine leaves apart to be able to, like a superhero, to be able to get up. And, you know, it'd take a lot of strength for him to do that. Very, very heavy, very difficult. And that's what this project's like. You're going around and around in frustration. It feels really heavy, really difficult, and you've got to break that repetition off before you can get to this reward, which I think is some kind of a bonus or some kind of money thing that's at the end of it. So again, you've really got to look to how, you've really got to stand back and look at, how can I find this a solution to this? How can I get through this really quickly so that I can get to the reward? And there's a money reward at the end of this. I'm also seeing money coming in from another direction, actually. Yeah, it's unexpected. There's something you did in the past. Might be an old job or a side job. It might be something like taxes. I don't know. It's something that's coming back to you. Something was miscalculated. I'm not sure what this is, but it's attached to work that you did in the past, and it's coming in. It's not a huge amount, but it's a nice little bonus. So you absolutely deserve that. You absolutely do. So really nice. So that's a nice thing anyway. So, okay, so the first card you have, your future, is the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, this can be about a payout as well. Excuse me. So, yeah, someone was holding something from you, holding money from you, and I don't think they meant to. It looks like a mistake to me, actually, but they did have the money that was meant to be for you. Like this man's holding onto these coins. So that's going to be released. It's coming to you. The other thing is, if you're single, I think you're probably going to be guarding your heart for a while, like this man. He's got a coin over his heart. So it's like money, work, business over your heart. So you're going to be concentrating on work, business, all of that, because you have this and you have the Eight of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. I'm getting this feeling of feeling a little bit suffocated. I know that sounds quite dramatic, but yeah, there's someone who's interested in you, and I think you probably know who this is, actually, because I'm seeing a few messages coming in, a lot of messages actually, and it feels a little bit possessive. Too many messages, too many. It feels too much, suffocating. I'm getting that. Oh, I'm suffocating. It's too much. So yeah, I don't think you're going to be taking up whatever offer they give you. You're really not ready for anyone new anyway, I don't think, if you're single, obviously. I think if someone even looks a tiny bit obsessive, it's just going to make you want to run the other way. Yeah, I'm seeing messages. You've gotten a few messages from this person, and you just don't get a good feeling around this. That's what your instincts are telling you. Not because they're a bad person. It's just that you don't like this idea, yeah, they're just not the right person for you at this particular time. Yeah, cross watchers, this might not be about you, just saying. Yeah, but I think you're going to go with your instincts on this, and that's always the right way to go. Okay, so the next card you have, your future, is the Queen of Swords. Yeah, again, you're going to be like this. You're going to have your sword up, protecting yourself. I'm not seeing any horrible people coming towards you. I was seeing a possible return in the Page of Swords, so there's that. So you're going to protect yourself from that if they do come and talk to you, and I think they probably will. But there's nothing else here. I think there's just this general need for you to just, be by yourself, work on yourself, work on your work, because you've got a lot of work energy here. I'm also seeing a couple of other things here. Yeah, one of them's a bit strange. I'm going to say it anyway. People say, oh, if you see anything strange, just say. So I am. Okay, here we are. I'm seeing dancing. Now, I don't know what that's about. It might be choreography, I don't know. You might just be going to a show, or you might be dancing yourself. I don't know. That's what I'm seeing. So I've said it. There we are. I look ridiculous. I've done it. The other thing is, the other thing here is someone's going to come to you for advice, I think. Okay, this is what I'm seeing with this. Okay, sometimes you're in heart mode. You're empathetic, your emotions are all kind of up to the surface. You're really in your emotions. But I think when this person comes to you, you'll probably be in business mode, or hard-headed mode, like this Queen. And I think maybe they're a sensitive person, or they might be going through something quite sensitive. And you're a good listener, you're good at helping people, you do that quite a lot. But I think at this time, you'll probably have to make an effort to get yourself out of this kind of hard-headed mode and back into heart mode. Just so that you can get yourself into the mind of this person so you can understand them and into the heart of them. This queen's the way she is. She's all hard-headed because she's been through some pretty horrible things, and you have as well. And so you're going to be work-focused as well. So it's just about making an effort to change your mindset just for a while, just for this person, just so you can help them. And yeah, it's not going to be easy for you, because it's like, okay, I've got to open my heart up again. I don't feel like doing this, but I have to. That's what I'm getting. But you're going to do this. You're going to help them. Yeah, I'll go with the next card because it kind of follows on the Hierophant. Because with the Hierophant, it looks a little bit more serious to what I was seeing in the Queen of Swords. It does feel quite serious, actually. Yeah, they're going to need a lot of empathy, a lot of empathy. I'm seeing a woman here, and I'm seeing prayer. I'm seeing prayer. So I don't know if you pray, but it's prayer in some form, however you see that. It might be asking your guides, might be asking the universe, might be actual prayer. I don't know. That's up to you, whatever that is. You might also have to keep some things to yourself, in confidence. This person's going to tell you a lot of things, a lot of very deep, very difficult things, and they're going to want you to keep that in confidence. It's not about keeping secrets. This is about protecting someone and, and just helping them. So whoever this is, they really look up to you. I think they're younger than you, and whatever this is about, it's not going to be an easy thing for you to think about or talk about. It's very deep, very, very difficult subject. So, yeah, you're going to help them, though. You're going to help them. You're going to get them through this. Yeah, there's going to be a good outcome eventually. I'm getting peace here. I'm seeing a peaceful outcome. But it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult for a while. And yeah, they're going to be able to lean on you. You're going to be able to help them. Okay, this might help you. I'm just seeing this. If you don't know who this is, they've had problems with authority at some time, maybe at a couple of different times in their life. But yeah, you'll be there for them and you'll get them through this, and there'll be peace at the end of this. That's what I'm seeing.